saga has finally come to an end. Breaking news here on this Wednesday, October 1st, the day of the qualifying offer deadline. Quentin Grimes has decided to sign that qualifying offer to return to Philadelphia. So, no long term deal in place between the Sixers and Grimes, and they were not able to get a bigger 1 year deal done either. So, we'll go through what this means for Grimes and the Sixers of signing this qualifying offer. But, guys, this is why you subscribe to the channel. Whenever there is breaking news, we always got you covered right here on 76ers Now with in-depth analysis and breakdowns. 23,832 people are subscribed to the channel. Join us, become a smarter and more informed Sixers fan. I really would appreciate it. So Shams Charania breaking the news not too long ago that Grimes is signing that 1 year, $8.7 million qualifying offer to return to the Sixers, according to his agent, David Bauman. Grimes will now hold, this is very important, he will hold an inherent no-trade clause in his contract this season and enter a more flush free agent market as an unrestricted free agent next summer. And we'll break down a couple of those points here in just a minute. And then Legion Hoops as well, providing some more context as to why the Sixers and Grimes could not agree on a 1 year deal larger than the qualifying offer, which would have benefited the Sixers. The Sixers only offered Grimes a $100,000 raise above the $8.7 million qualifying offer to try to get him to waive that no trade clause. That was clearly not enough money for Grimes to give up that control and give up that no trade clause. So he declined, and, quote, negotiations never advanced after that point. Really, it seems like there wasn't a whole lot of negotiations at all between Grimes and the Sixers over pretty much the entire summer, because Shams Charania offered some more context on ESPN. After Grimes' site indicated the desire to contract in the $30 million range early in free agency, and then in the $20 to $25 million range, the two sides never found traction on a new deal this offseason, ahead of tonight's 11:59 p.m. Eastern deadline for the qualifying offer. So let's break down a couple of the main key points here. So you keep hearing me say qualifying offer deadline. After tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, Grimes no longer could have accepted that qualifying offer, meaning he had no fallback option if he and the Sixers could not agree on a different deal. Clearly, they were very far apart monetarily wise on both a long-term deal and a 1 year deal, so he really had no choice but to go ahead and take that deal here today. Now, interestingly enough, of the group of 4 restricted free agents, we did get one real long-term deal with Josh Giddey, one basically 1 year deal, 2 years with a team option that will be declined, and he'll probably be traded anyways, and Jonathan Kuminga, Cam Thomas, Quentin Grimes, both accepting those qualifying offers. So both will enter free agency next season, and both have no trade clauses this year. And look, Grimes, when he came over in that trade last season, I mean, he played so well, right, for that stretch of games, and kind of, at the time we thought, earned himself a larger contract with Philadelphia. Now, granted, they weren't winning a lot of games, and in these games, he was putting up good numbers and being efficient while he was doing it, looking a lot better than he had in his career up to this point, but we still weren't sure what exactly that meant for his future. But still, entering free agency, I thought he was going to get a long-term deal here with Philadelphia, but the Sixers didn't want to pay him, and Grimes didn't want to take less than about $20 million. Now, the key things here. One, Grimes will get a no-trade clause. So, how much incentive do the Sixers have as we approach the deadline in the back half of the year to give Grimes a lot of minutes, knowing we have McCain, we have Maxey, we have VJ Edgecombe, we spent the number 3 pick on him. We can't trade Grimes and get back value for him. And the Sixers aren't going to be able to re-sign Grimes next offseason because with the qualifying offer, Grimes will be an unrestricted free agent, so they don't have the same restricted tags on him, and they don't get his bird right, so they can't go over the salary cap to bring back Grimes. There's virtually no way Quentin Grimes returns to the Sixers next season. So if you're Philadelphia, like, yes, you obviously he's a good player, right? And you want him in your guard rotation, and he can help you win games. But are you going to prioritize that over developing somebody like a VJ Edgecombe or developing someone like a Jared McCain if they're all playing about the same level, knowing, like, Grimes will not be on this team after this season? It's a tough situation, and that's why the qualifying offer was not in the Sixers' best interest, and you wish they could have found a way to give him that 1-year balloon deal, but they were only willing to offer $100,000 more. That's cheap, in my opinion, by Philadelphia. Fault on both sides. I think Grimes and his camp were asking for too much money from the rip, and I think Daryl Morey and the Sixers really never tried to fairly negotiate with Quentin Grimes. What's your one-word reaction to Grimes taking this qualifying offer? I'm going to say disappointed. And I'm disappointed in both sides because I think both sides did a poor job in this negotiation process. Grimes probably not going to be a Sixer past this season. So that's the breakdown there. Coming up real quick, the Sixers did give an update on Jared McCain, did officially get surgery on that torn UCL in his thumb on his shooting hand. So want to pass that update along and what a timeline looks like, what games he could miss, and who needs to step up in his absence. But before we do, I want to tell you guys about a great deal on a fresh new hat that I saw, and I'm like, man, I got to get my hands on this thing. And I saw it was on sale, even better. Love the look, the cream color. It's that rope style hat you can see across the brim of the hat. Clearly, I'm a big hat guy. You see me rocking my Sixers hat right now on today's show. I think it's a great colorway, a great design, and was $38, marked down to just $29 at chatsports.com/76ers hat. Again, chatsports.com/76ers hat. That link will be in the comments and description of today's show, so go pick it up while that deal does still apply. So the Sixers, they posted this on Twitter at like 3 a.m. Eastern, early this morning, giving us an update on McCain, who underwent successful surgery to repair that UCL tear in his right thumb, surgery performed by Dr. Michelle Carlson at HSS. McCain will be reevaluated in approximately 4 weeks. Further updates will be provided as appropriate. So he won't necessarily be back in 4 weeks, but we knew that 4 to 6 week timeline was about what would be expected. So seems like things are on the right side of that timeline. It could have been even worse if it was a more severe tear. Luckily, it seems we avoided disaster here. So he's going to miss some time into the regular season, even if it is the minimum 4 weeks, which I'm a little skeptical he will come back in 4 weeks. But of course, you never know with these types of things. Don't want to be too negative on that front. He's going to miss at least the first 4 games of the season if you go 4 weeks from yesterday. Celtics to open the year, Hornets, Magic, Wizards. That's, games to start the year. What's the Sixers team going to look like? Quentin Grimes now getting into here. He hasn't been a part of training camp. How does that factor in? VJ Edgecombe. So he'll miss these 4 games. Then it's possible he could return any of these dates. The October 31st Halloween game against the Celtics, a bit of a stretch. I think that's really right at that 4-week mark. But if he really is fine by that point, really any of these 5 games here in early November, I could see as a potential return for Jared McCain, Sixers do have like a mini road trip here at Nets, at Bulls, at Cavs. Maybe you save him until you're back home against the Raptors on November 8th for him to make a season debut. But again, this could have been a lot worse. He could have been out until almost December if it was a really bad tear of that UCL. So good that he should be back sooner rather than later. We'll, of course, keep praying for his quick recovery to see McCain back out there on the floor. In the meantime, though, this changes a little bit with Quentin Grimes now being back, but still, because Grimes signed the qualifying offer and he won't be a Sixer after this year and they can't trade him away, get anything back for him, and this McCain injury, VJ Edgecombe is lined up for a pretty significant role right out of the gates. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he starts early on in the season. Maybe Grimes gets that responsibility, but they could all 3 play at a lot of times. Nick Nurse said there's going to be some 3, even 4 guard lineups this year. I'm very excited for VJ Edgecombe with what he showed early in Summer League and in training camp. He has gotten some rave reviews from this coaching staff and his teammates. He looks great. And that 3rd overall pick, man, I think he's a factor in why the Sixers did not want to commit too much money to Quentin Grimes. Expect to see a lot of VJ Edgecombe early and often this season. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Can't believe it took until Wednesday, October 1st for the Sixers to come to an agreement with Quentin Grimes. Kind of a disaster. They let Gershon Yabusele walk to the Knicks so they could pay Quentin Grimes, and now Grimes won't be in the roster after this season either. Little bit of a disappointment, but it is what it is, and hopefully he can help the Sixers win games this season. That'll do it for today's show. Be sure to hit that sub button if you have not already, and we'll catch you next time right here on 76ers Now.